Oh hey, I didn't see you there, my fellow chess bro. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. If you're new to the channel, this is what we do here. We play a 10-minute rapid game, and I do my best to be instructive and educational and entertaining as possible. And it's going to be a mix of the three, but the purpose of this video is basically I'm going to try and show you how to win chess easily. How to just nice and simply, don't put too much stress on it. There's going to be a critical moment of the game where we spend a little bit of time thinking, and then there's going to be other parts of the game where we don't think too much. And so generally what I'm going to try and show you is just how to get better at chess. Plain and simple. Get better at chess without, breaking your brain trying to do so. So he pushes his pawn to break this pin. We're going to bring this knight. Push this pawn. I don't really want to see this. I believe that's actually the best move for white. Is you just grab my light square bishop when you can. He does play it. So we're going to scoot up and get him to kind of commit. Oof. He just gets a little tempo on us. So we're going to scoot back. It's not good for us, but it's not really bad. White always has an advantage in the beginning of the game, and so he's maintaining that advantage. So I needed to develop my bishop. I don't really want to put it here. I can't put it here. Can't put it here. So this is the square that makes the best sense. Probably we see the knight jump to the middle, and then I'm probably going to put my queen right here on this square. We're going to be applying some pressure here, and we might see just a giant trade. Boom, 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 and then I have this pawn break at the end of the position. We maybe just tickle that. And if you see, I'm not really spending too much time thinking. I'm just developing my pieces naturally, asking a couple questions of the position, and definitely, I'm not winning. If anything, I'm the one that's getting pressured. Two things are attacking this. I don't see another great way to defend it. So we're just going to get rid of this. And if the bishop comes in and attacks us, now we need to think. I obviously need to move my queen. One chess tip that I miss far more often than not is something very simple. If you're being attacked by a piece, check first if you can take it. So if there's a check like this, say the pawn wasn't there, make sure that you check, like, can I just take the queen or what's going on? So I think I need to maintain this so I can kind of hang on to that while attacking something. Probably what we'll see is castle, and then I might even just castle out of here as well. And then this pawn is defended by my king, and my knight is ready to join in the action. Even this idea, okay, so I'm pretty sure I just want a castle. And I could have grabbed this pawn, but then his rook gets to the open file. This bishop is also covering this square, so I don't really want to open this file and allow all of this nonsense. Plus, like, where would I even go? This gives me the chance to scoot forward. If you have the opportunity to scoot forward, it's normally a good idea. So we're going to do so. If we see the pawn push, that slightly weakens his king. Slightly weakens his king. It's not anything good or bad, really. And I'll probably just straight up go back to where I was. And then we might even see like some crazy pawn pushes. But I think I'm going to survive. And so we're not going to spend too much time thinking about all the variations. He has a slightly weaker king, and my king is also slightly weak. And he has the bishop. He has the bishop. And I have the knight. I would really like to go here. So maybe we try and bust the position open just a tad little bit. I would love that, and then put a rook on an open file. We're going to go for it. Take, push, take. I think we're going to be chilling. I think we're going to be chilling. And I would love to get rid of the bishop for the knight and just hop into an endgame. And so, how many moves? We're move 20. One thing that came of this is playing the Caro-Kann. And so when you play the Caro-Kann, you're basically saying, I don't want to like perform any sort of crazy tricks or anything. Just play a solid opening. It's going to be a more or less drawish position, and then you're going to try and win in the end game. And so I have a different strategy when I play the white pieces. I attack. If I play the black pieces, play the Caro-Kann, it's a little bit more defensy. Let's take a moment. I'm going to scroll this down just a tad. Fairly certain we can just recapture that with check. He scoots back. All right, we're going to scoot back up. I was going to show you guys his profile. What should we do now? I can scoot forward, but then I probably just get hit. I am going to scoot forward for the simple reason of I'm attacking this pawn if the bishop does move. So probably we're just going to see a pawn push, and then that is going to be... Whoa, said the opponent left the game. You couldn't see it, but it was in front of my face. You scoot your king up. What on earth do you think you're doing? I can also try and like get my knight a little bit more active. How do I feel about that? This check is also an option. I think rook on this file makes just a tad bit of sense. Oh my goodness, he's getting ready to really attack me. Sorry, my phone was going off. I'm going to try and prevent that from happening again. So this H file is a little bit of a problem for me. If I go here, I'm just walking into getting hit with this. Then my knight basically jumps here. If he pushes, take, trade the queens. We're going to do it. This also defends this, but most likely we're going to see the pawn push. Kaboom. I will then jump here. We probably see this pawn push. What if I scoot my rook over? So this is the semi-open file, and this is the other semi-open file. Almost definitely we're going to see that. What's better? I can also jump in here. Attack the rook. The rook has to go somewhere. I hit him with a check. And I take this and the queen. Okay. So this, I'm not sure if this is perfect, but we attack the rook. If the rook moves either one of these squares, check, take the bishop. He cannot take back because it hangs the queen. So we just found a little tactic. And if he just pushes, then we just take the rook. So we're going to hit him with this check. Kaboom. We are then going to take this, and he can't take back. This pawn push is a little bit scary. I mean, I guess this is the move that makes the most amount of sense. Here. Ooh. What about put my queen in the middle of everything? And if you take, then I take. Then you can kind of lock my knight in there. I don't know if there's a great way to get out. Instead of getting complicated, we're just going to scoot back here. I mean, take. Here. I think I'll be all right. I think I'm going to be all right with all this. I can go here. What am I talking about? This isn't even a direct checkmate yet. Maybe I scoot up, defend that knight, attack the rook. I think that makes sense. I scoot up. If he comes in, I'll take. Is this move a blunder? We're going to just go for it. I'm up a knight. Okay. Dude is kind of pressuring me. What if I then scoot my guy up? There's also check. I think probably just scooting up makes the most amount of sense. Ooh, he's going for this. But if he does play that, I'll get in. I'll even get in like this. All right, so we're going to scoot my king up. If we see this pawn push, this rook on the complete other side of the board is given a check. And I think that's going to be terrifying. So he would love to push this pawn, but it's going to be a little bit hard to do. And if he doesn't, I'm going to put my rook here. And then I'm just threatening a rook trade. And if the queen goes anywhere off this file... Okay, so let's just check real quick. This check, I mean, cannot be a bad idea. So I'm not even going to calculate a million moves. We're just going to hit him with the check. He goes here. He's attacking my knight. But this, it looks like, is really, really scary. Here. Wait a minute. I can also kind of force this or attack the queen. What about that? We attack the queen. This check doesn't work. You can't go here. If you go here, I take. If you go here, I take. If you go here, I take. If you go here... Super scared. This is a scary position. He's got these two really, really powerful pieces just all in my grill. But his king is just a stone's throw away from my king. So I think I'll be able to just, force a rook trade. If he goes here, I might even like sack or something. Because almost definitely his queen goes here. Then I can take. Then he takes. What do we do? Just simply take. Here. Then this check. I think we're just going to do a little bit of a simplification. We're doing it. This definitely opens up my king a tad little bit. But he's going to get this. But I get this with check. And that opens this file. He took that instead? Are you crazy, bro? I mean... Defend the rook? This is absolutely terrifying. This seems to save me. Like, you can get in, But that's my check. Then what are you doing about that, buddy? Then pretty much know where the king goes. Then I come in with a checkmate over here. So I think it's a little bit spooky. Definitely a little bit spooky of a position. And if the king ever strays away from this rank right here, oh dear Lord, your queen does not want to be on that file. Oh my goodness. We're going to go here. Here. "33 seconds? Why did I play all this so slow? I need to lock in. This is really scary. Check. 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 It got a little bit hectic there at the end. There was probably a simpler way to do that. And the whole purpose of this video was for simple chess. Did I panic at any point? The time pressure made me a little bit spooked, but overall that was a pretty good game, and at least the first 66, maybe even 70% of that game was just easy going. It was like I just allowed way too much counterplay and took a little while thinking about what I was going to do here. I was up a rook, for goodness sakes. There were so many different ways. So we're going to check it with the computer, and I'll see you over there. And here we are in the analysis, and I am proud to present that first, our opponent played 87% accurate, 3 blunders, 2 mistakes, 4 inaccuracies. And of those blunders, I'm pretty sure that I capitalized on the majority of them. I made 1 blunder, but it looks like it's a blunder that threw away my advantage back to a position of equality. And there's 2 types of blunders. There's one blunder where it's equal and you blunder and then you're losing. But then there's the other type of blunder where you're winning by a good portion and you screw it up and then it's just equal again. And those are the ones that you prefer. And I would say there's also a third type of blunder where it's just a missed win. It's like there was a sequence or whatever where you could have been winning and you miss it, and therefore it's still an equal position or still losing or whatever, and you miss the opportunity. Either way, I played 94% accurate, 1 blunder, 2 mistakes, and 1 inaccuracy. And if you look at the graph, it basically tells a tale of an equal game, and then somewhere at the end of the middle game, he just fell prey to that little knight hopping around sequence. And so one other thing that we should point out is there's 2 moments in the game where I spent a considerable amount of time. And one of them was, how do I move forward and come up with a plan? The other one was, this is a dangerous position for me and I need to make the correct move or I could be losing. And so the majority of the other ones, like if you look through the opening and the ending, quick on everything here all the way into the middle game. I spent a decent chunk on a handful of moves in the middle game, and then towards the end game, once I was completely winning, just blitz out all the moves that are pretty much, they're good enough. And so let's hop right into it. We get a Caro Kann, we get an exchange variation, we bring the knight out, we bring the bishop out. For some reason, you're supposed to push the pawn, but I like getting a knight developed because why not? We then push the pawn. And like I was mentioning in the video, this is the best move because it basically guarantees that he's gonna get this light square bishop, even though we hop around a little bit. So he's got, half a pawn advantage, but that's basically what we started with. So it's completely even. We then put my queen here to have this little battery. So if this guy moves, I have the option of just grabbing that. He hits us with a pin. We question that bishop. Take, and then I get rid of this because there's just 2 things attacking this. I suppose I was supposed to just castle and just let it happen. I guess because I can pin it. Or I could have just taken here. Okay. Instead of getting fancy where I can lose a pawn and maybe get an attack, it's easier to just get rid of the piece that's posing all of the problems in the position. We then castle, get my king to safety. And we go for putting my knight in the middle of the board. He basically just gets pushed right back to where he was, and then we go for the pawn break. And I think this was a pivotal moment in the game because I have the pawn break of the position. Like, yes, he has this one, but it's not really as good as mine. Comes through with check. I get blocked. And then what would have been maybe better is going back to these dark squares, because that would have aided in the idea of bringing my knight to the party. I liked the idea of being safe and putting it on a light square so this dark square bishop doesn't attack him again. But still, it's totally even. And this is the moment where I spent a good amount of time. And it turns out to be a blunder because I already checked this out. It's a positional thing where I hit him with this check, then my goes here. Then I push. It's kind of unclear. There's nothing, these are hard advantages to see because there's no clear, like, I didn't win any pieces. It's just I improved my position substantially. Now, why is it all that much better? It's hard for me to say. I went with the knight here. I'm now attacking these dark squares. If I do see this idea, my knight is supported. So I like the idea of just getting my knight a little bit more active. I mean, I put my knight there, so it's saying it's a blunder, but this whole sequence came because of this knight being here. So the way that I saw this tactic was they're just all super forcing lines. I come here, I'm attacking the rook. If you don't move it, I'm winning. If you do move it, my next is a check that's defended by this. And so I basically just saw forcing move, you move, another forcing move, you move, and then I take this, and this is just a pin. So it's I don't know how complicated that is for the average chess player to see, but I feel like I saw this quite quickly and I explained it. It's just they're forcing moves. You just got to look for really forcing moves. And I saw, this is forcing. He's got to do something. This is really forcing. He's got to do wherever he goes something. And then this is just a definite pin because if he moves this pawn, I take the queen. And so quite proud of this little sequence. Boom. And now I'm just up a minor piece. I could have been a little bit more ambitious and, went for the throat, but there's nothing wrong with being a little bit safe. I push this pawn so that I can scoot up and then force a pair of rooks off the board. And now I'm just up by 5. I scoot the king up, and then this is the other moment where I spent most of my time. Well, no, not this one. This moment. This is where I spent basically 2 moves in the game. The reason that I spent so long here is this knight is hanging. If you take that knight, then this becomes an idea all of a sudden. And if I scoot in, it just gets scary real quick. This knight is like my main defender of the position. And so what would have been smarter is this scooting back long diagonal checkmate idea. That's hard to see, I suppose. And then there was just, forget the knight, bro. You're getting checkmated. So my attack would have just been faster if I went with this one. Unfortunately, I tried to play it safe and I said, you have way too much material here. What if I push this pawn? You basically have to take your queen out of the position, and that's why I played it. There were better things to play, but this one seemed simple. I then go here because I'm already winning. We get rid of this, and he takes the knight instead. That's the best move. I guess it opens the file. I would have probably just taken the rook. We go for this. My rook is now defended, which means this open file is defended. And you just got to be careful here. You don't want to get checked again. If I go here, I lose the game to checkmate. If I go here, it's just a check, and then I scoot over, and then it's a check, and then here, check. And I'm either going to lose a rook at the end of that, but I'm just going to keep getting checked. So this loses. This is not losing, but I'll get checked. This is probably not losing, but I'll get checked. So you hide in the corner. Boom. You make the move. This is no longer scary. My rook is ready to participate, supported by the king. And we go for it. We attack the high value piece. We get the rook on the open file. He goes over. And I spent a little bit of time here, but we just bring all of our heavy pieces to the party. And there were probably a lot of different ways I could win this, but at this point I have 30 seconds. I got 33 seconds. There we go. Boom. This is really forcing. check, check with the pawn. I'm not really sure what I was thinking there, but it is a good move. Then there's a lot of different mate and ones. I could have just swung the queen on over here. That would have worked. I saw them just... It's a check. It gets your queen off the board. Still, this mate is here. We go check. He goes here. And then there was mate and 1. But why would you do mate and 1 when you can do mate and 2? Doesn't matter. The main thing here is I was just looking for checks. If there's a way to get rid of the queen with a check, do it. Definitely if you have 19 seconds. Because for instance, like say that I make a move that's not a check and I bring the rook over here and he hits me with this check, then all of a sudden it's like it could be anybody's game, because then my king goes for a run. He could hit me with another check. He could come in and hit me with some other check. And so if there's a way to just get rid of the enemy's queen, do it, basically. And so, yeah, there were just 2 moments in that game where I spent a considerable amount of time thinking, and then the other ones was everything was winning. I chose the longer, not as optimal solution, but there we go. And then ultimately, I would say for studying openings, just pick one opening and play it a bunch and then review it with the computer. And you'll just, like, it's not like I watched a bunch of videos on how to play the Caro-Kann or, like, took some sort of course or whatever. I just play it, like, every game. And so I generally know, not always the best moves, but I know the ideas of the position. And so I'm probably not going to make, like, some ridiculous blunder and have, like, a -2 advantage in the first 15 moves of the game. Like, I generally know what I'm doing, and then you end up in a situation where this is a new position for both of us and it's equal, and you can't ask for too much more with black. So that's the way I play, and it's really helped me get better. And then when I play with the white pieces, attack. So I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you like this content, you want to see more of it, just go ahead and click the subscribe button. I'm gonna be trying to post more videos, more shorts, stuff like that. And then thank you. You guys are the best, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.